When we encounter difficult things and we want to give up, break it down into smaller steps and practice. Because difficult things are always doable with tons of practice. And be willing to fail as many times as you need to. You can always start over and keep practicing. So we do not want to look at something and say, oh, it's too hard, and totally dismiss it. Let's do lots of practice, do it over and over and over again until we get better. And I know that we will get better with a lot of practice. You know, sometimes when people seem angry, it usually has nothing to do with us. We just happen to be the person that they are expressing their grievance to. And that goes a long way towards keeping our peace. Because when we feel attacked by a person's anger or a person's frustration, it's hard not to take it personal. But let's remember that it's not personal. This person has an issue, and you are the one that they vent into. We do not ever want to compare ourselves with others, because there will always be someone who is better, doing better than you, and someone who is doing worse than you. So comparing yourself really to another person, when we do that, we really rob ourselves of our own essence. And ultimately, when we compare ourselves to another person, it is a waste of our time and a waste of our energy, where we could be putting that energy into our thing to make it better, to become better, and to be better. So let us do that. Don't ever compare ourselves to another person. We want to be open to having moments of extra grace, where we can experience ourselves living a life that we want to choose to create for ourselves. We want to look for these opportunities and embrace them, even if they're short. And, you know, they usually are short. But the goal is to have enough of them, enough of these moments, and to have them often enough to where we become accustomed, and we make it a permanent part of our life and how we live. So having those extra moments where we're getting more than we think we deserve or expect, we want those moments to become normal to us. And I encourage you to be aware when they're happening so that you can enjoy them. You know, we should be kind to others even when we don't want to, because it's a small world. We do not know when we will run into someone we have been unkind to in the future, and they may be in a position of power or be in a position of being assistance to us. We just don't know. Kindness is not something that we decide we're going to be kind today. Let's strive for kindness to become our nature, to become who we are. So we are never, our kindness is not dependent on the situation, because that's just who we are. We're kind people. As having a strong habit of physical exercise is what gives us the mental capacity that we need to do difficult things, when it would be so much easier just to give up and lay down. We have to be willing to push through difficult things, and even though we don't feel like it, and guess what? Most of the time, we don't feel like it, but we must do what is necessary, even when it's hard and so easy to quit and give up. So let's get this in our head. I must be strong and get things done, even when I don't feel like it. You know, it's okay to start over at any age, as long as you believe that the price is worth paying, right? Let's use what's available to us to create opportunities for ourselves. Remember, it's never too late to start over. You may have been doing something all your life, and you may have been working at a specific job, pursuing a certain career path, doing, plumbing, just having a trade. But there's something in the back of your mind that you always wanted to do. I encourage you, do it. Now, if you have a family and you have obligations, financial obligations, you want to keep that consistent. But perhaps little by little, you can introduce your thing and do it a little bit at a time. And as time goes on, you could switch. But I encourage you, don't say, oh, I always wanted to do this, and now it's too late, I can't. Be encouraged. You're never too old or too far along to start something new. It doesn't matter if we don't like everything about where we are, because no matter where we move to, we're always going to find something there that we probably don't like. But remember, when we make a move and we find that thing that we don't like, the common factor is us, because wherever we go, we're taking ourselves with us. So knowing that, we can probably make it anywhere that we end up. Having ambition and honoring our commitments, it doesn't come easy. Ambition is something that we have to go out and work at every single day. And that ambition is different for every person. And I ask myself, what would it take for me to feel that I'm being ambitious? And ask yourself the same question. What would it take for me to feel ambition, to feel ambitious? And I believe that we'll realize that on a lot of levels that we are already ambitious. We are already successful. Can we become more ambitious and more successful? Absolutely. But always give yourself credit and grace for where you are, and know that you can always excel and improve with ambition. You know, you can want the best for your family, want the best for your friend, but sometimes the closest people to you are the most difficult and challenging ones to help. And that's where we have to be willing to ask for help and accept help from the outside, even though it's hard. I love people, you love people, and we're emotionally drawn to them because that's who we are. We're human beings. We're emotionally drawn to their problems, their situations, but we must remember that we cannot fix anyone or we cannot want something for another person more than that person wanted for themselves. So we have to give ourselves that grace and that space to know that when we need to let go and say, I love you, and all I want is the best for you.